hard work and dedication as a necessity. You understand? As a necessity to be able to succeed.
Hej på er och välkomna tillbaka till DiaLogiskt. Mitt namn är Viktor och jag är som vanligt er host. Fortfarande lika glad precis som jag och mitt team på att ni fortsätter subscriba, dela och framförallt tipsa era nära och kära om våran kanal. Ni är en del av våran lina. Ja, nu när jag har det sagt så ska jag säga någonting som håller mig väldigt kärt. Och det är faktiskt fighting. Jag gillar MMA-scenen, jag gillar boxning. Och en sak som jag gillar ännu mer än det är människorna bakom. Idag så ska vi ta ett snack med en framträdande person inom fighting-scenen som jag känner att vi bör ha ett snack med. Jag ska sluta snacka. Jag vill välkomna Andreas Michael till DiaLogiskt.
Thank you. Tack så mycket.
Tack själv. Trevligt att ha dig här.
Tack för att jag fick komma.
Alltså jag vill bara börja med att säga, precis som jag sa i min presentation, att jag har haft en vision om att intervjua dig i ungefär 4-5 år. Så att för mig är det nära.
Tack. Tack så mycket.
Och lite så. Vi kommer komma fram till just de här spektakulära åren du har haft inne i den här branschen, inom fighting-scenen. Men jag tänkte börja med att fråga dig, innan jag ber dig beskriva vem du är, The General. Berätta om ditt smeknamn. Andreas The General.
The General. Det började, I'm going to take it in English, okay?
Ingen fara, det är bara att köra.
It started with, I was thinking, I can't grapple, I can't do all the moments of the MMA. So I'm thinking, who can? Like in an army, the general, he cannot dive, parachute, shoot all the weapons, like fly a helicopter, but he puts the army together for a winning strategy.
Yeah.
You know, he puts his war generals, his war captains together, and they make a mighty team. You know, and that's where it came from. I was giving an example of that because I was hearing a lot of things that he can't grapple, he can't, he's not an MMA fighter, he's only a boxing coach. And I was hearing a lot of that and I'm saying that, yes, but this boxing coach has gotten the best results that this country has ever seen. And I gave an example like a general. A general cannot do all those things, but still, and he gets the job done, you know? And I don't focus on what I can't do. I focus on what we can do and what the team can do. And that's why people call me the general.
All right. Och teamet har gjort en hel del, mycket. Och vi kommer komma vidare också till det. Men jag tänker, beskriv dig själv i 3 ord. Hur skulle du beskriva dig själv?
Intense. Motivated. And relentless.
Okej. Är det du förväntar dig av dina fighters också? Det som du...
I never expect anything that I don't give myself. I'm always there and I expect them to always be there. I always go and do my best. I expect them to always do their best. And it's just something that that's instilled in me from a young age. If you need to get something that the mass wants, you have to be unique, you have to be special, you have to do more than what the other person does. So that means that you have to put the effort and the hours in. And that's what I expect from myself, and that's what I expect from the people that are around me.
The people around you. Hur skulle dina klubbkamrater beskriva dig?
Crazy. Because doing logical things, you're sane. Doing unlogical things, you're insane.
Okay.
You know, so crazy.
Okay. Positivt sett.
And negative.
And negative. Because you push them too hard.
No, because I push. I seal out the weak and keep the strong. So I don't waste their time and they don't waste my time.
Okay.
And it's hard. It's hard being a top athlete. Yeah. If you don't want to do it, it's sooner or later it's gonna show in the stress and the pressure that the training demands from you. Yeah. An elite athlete means that it's a job, and it's not a hobby. And 99% of everyone just do it for a hobby. It's not good enough. You can never become the best if you're only doing it as a hobby. It has to be a job. You have to wake up every day. You have to know, like, okay, what's my mission today? To be better than yesterday. And to be better than yesterday, I have to work harder. What's my mission tomorrow? To be better than the guy that I want to beat. So that means you have to work harder than the guy. It's like a race. The guy's in front of you with 1 kilometer, and you're behind him 1 kilometer. If you're running at the same tempo, you're never going to pass him. You have to run faster than him to close the gap. You know, so it's not that difficult in reality. It's just there's willing and unwilling. You know.
Men känner du att det har varit svårt att pränta in det i dina fighters, just det här du berättar för mig nu?
You know, in Sweden, we started off, and it was very tough. I keep saying, you know, I want this interview to be about real talk, you know.
Yeah,
I want this interview to. So I'm not going to do this interview. I'm going to tell everyone now, be ready, you know, because I'm not going to make this interview like all the other ones that we did in all the other meetings. Oh, yes, it's going to be. Now I'm going to talk from the heart, you know. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to just like let it rip, you know. And I owe it to you, not to waste your time, and I owe it to the fans and to the people like watching this, to give them something that like they haven't heard for a million times. Because every coach, every person tries to sugarcoat it and make it be like a Cinderella story. It's not. Okay. You know, so going back to your question, is that the fighters you said? Yeah. Some fighters I'm an imposing presence. Yes, I'm an imposing presence. It's like I have a strong will, and I know that what I believe in works. Obviously. You know, obviously, for real. You know, so what I believe works, and anyone that is against it, fine. I don't say like that you have to follow my method or my methods, but I only just look from the track records, you know, and we're one of the most successful clubs and one of the best clubs in the world.
Top 15 All-Stars.
Top 15.
Let's talk about All-Stars.
At one stage we were top 10.
Yeah.
At one stage.
At one stage, yes.
In the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Det ska vi inte glömma det.
We compete against like huge clubs that have millions in capital, millionaires, investors that own the clubs. This is the that have like decades of experience. Don't remember, like in Sweden, like MMA was in 2005 or in 2004. It was like nearly outlawed. You know, boxing was like outlawed, like professional boxing. We had to climb and build an infrastructure. You know, we started off with ruins, and we had to build an empire again.
But tell me about. Yeah, I'm gonna switch from Swedish to English.
Absolutely,
no problem. You're doing. Men berätta för oss hur du kom in i fightingvärlden. Alltså din bakgrund, du är boxningstränare eller boxare från början.
Well, I was an up and coming talent in boxing. You know, I don't like talking about my boxing career because I injured myself. So whatever I say, like it's relative, you know. Yeah. Like because I didn't have the time to show what I go for, you know. Yeah. But I can tell you what, like if I had the time, I would have been up with the best. That's how much I believed in myself. That's how much I believe in myself, you know. So if I had the time, I would have shown it, you know. I was an up and coming like talent that was going places, and then I had a huge accident. I started boxing when I was 6. My dad was a fighter as well. So father and son coaching relationship, you know how that is. Like he pushes you to the brink of like breaking point.
The kind of relationship you have to some of your fighters too?
No.
Not really?
Not really.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you why. Because I give them a choice. I didn't have a choice.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay.
I give them a choice. If I didn't want to come and train, he'll come and find me and he'll take me into the gym and I had to train. That's
your
the
origin?
difference. I'm Greek.
Greek.
Yeah. So but he was English Greek. So we lived in England and we lived in Cyprus, the Greek part, because Cyprus is Greek.
Yeah.
You know? So we lived in the Larnaca. You know. So what happened was that I didn't have a choice. Whereas the fighters, they have a choice. What I'm saying is that don't waste my time. You make a choice, you follow through with it. Like me, I didn't have that luxury. I had to like train wanting to or not wanting to, you know? Cold, sun, rain, like sick, like sad, happy, 3.5, 4 hours every day. Right? So it was relentless, that.
Yeah, and then All-Star.
And then I became a coach. I had like I think had like maybe like 15 national fighters in my group as a coach.
Okay.
You know, then I became like the Olympic coach of Sweden. We went to the Olympic qualifiers. I was assistant coach. We won like in 2008. We won the silver and the bronze at the Europeans. And I think that was the last successful thing that boxing has done since then, amateur boxing anyway. And I think that's the only thing that the successful thing that amateur boxing, because amateur boxing right now is in ruins. Like professional boxing is in ruins in Sweden as well. Boxing around the world is having a hard time now.
Yeah.
So like I remember when we used to go to like tournaments around the world, we'd get like backing from SOK. We would like I had like in 2009 I had like 200 days of traveling with the national team. Cuba, Russia, Thailand, China, like England, Ireland, like we were everywhere. Fighting guys like Rigondao, Lemachenko, Ursik, like Babakawan mot Ursik, you know, like we competed against like Biterbiev, Babaka competed against Biterbiev, like the
good old days.
And you know what, and Biterbiev, let me just tell you now, he's like one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world, like in light heavyweight. Like he has destroyed everyone, everyone. Lemachenko, enough said. You know, we were in training camps with them. Like Rigondao, like the Jackal, his name is. Like we spotted like Lara. So the experience is there. You know, I've been around. I've seen what I've seen. Like I've traveled. I've witnessed. I've experienced. Like as a coach. So I'm not just
a coach.
Someone that like looks at the YouTube or looks at other things that other people are doing and does them himself as well.
Men tror du att det finns mycket sådana coacher? Det var bara ett exempel du kan
ställa. I don't really like wanna like slag anyone off, you know. Like I don't wanna say anything bad about like other coaches. They're all doing their best, you know. Like there's a lot of good coaches, a lot of bad coaches in the world, you know. Like, but what I'm saying is that I'm not just a coach that like looks at like the internet, like and gets his experience from there or mimics others. I mimic what I have in my mind, not mimic. I do what in my mind I have experienced and what I believe in, and that's the most important thing. That's why if you don't believe in something, it will never work. He said, even the first time I went to America, I was thinking to myself, like, I was seeing like all these great fighters, and their technique is flawed. flawed. I'm like saying like flawed. Like, and I'm thinking like, how the hell are these guys like getting it going like in the cage? Because they have one thing that's unbreakable. Two things actually. Hard work and dedication, and the belief in what they're doing. And that makes it work.
Okay. Fighters på All-Star.
Yes.
Jag vill börja med att säga, All-Star startade ni ägare, det är du, Majid, Alex Gustafsson.
No, it was we had like 5 owners before, and then we bought them out. And now it's only 3 of us. It's me, Alex and Magdi.
Okej. Så under er resa hittills så har ni gjort mycket, alltså framstående, ni har fått fram många framstående fighters inom många olika galor och organisationer. Men vilka fighters på All-Stars har gjort en karriär som du tycker är värd att nämnas? Utan att liksom...
Well, I can say like this, like nearly 90% of everyone that has succeeded in Sweden has come from All-Stars.
Hur kommer det sig?
Well, I ask you that. I just explained that. I just explained that, like how, like, because on the internet, when you read the things, I don't know anything. I'm like a dud. I'm like fugazi.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fake.
Fugazi is a strong word.
Huh?
Fugazi is a strong word put on someone.
Yeah, and, like, you should hear what some of the things that they call me, us, the team. And I don't know where the hate is. Is but in the beginning it bothered me, it bothered me. But after a while, it's like I don't care. How did we get like good fighters?
Yeah.
Okay, how do we get good fighters? We get good fighters by following what we believe, by having extremely good coaches. Every coach that we have is nearly a world champion or has had something to do with world champions. Like, so when you come to All-Stars, you don't have like a coach that has gone on a course for like 2 weeks. You have a coach that's been doing this, a national coach, a world champion coach, a coach of like professional fighters. You have coaches that like have learned under these fighters, have become coaches, like, so we have like a stew of knowledge. And I think that's what people appreciate and respect. With this knowledge, we put forward and do great things. Like we have like Joakim Karlsson, Alan Nascimento, Putte, we have like great management like Magdi, we have like Karim, we have like Bang, we have like I hate naming names now. Sorry guys, but like I probably missed somebody out. We have like Jeppe, like we have like an amazing coach. And if I've missed anyone, like excuse me, Paul, Sasha, like, so we have like great coaches there. Coaches that are dedicated, that do this for the win. They don't do this for the hobby, So it's all about what you want. For me, I don't like this mentality that you have to enjoy what you're doing, This is like very Swedish mentality, and this is why maybe I'm not in that puzzle bit, I don't fit in that puzzle bit, because hard work is not enjoyable, it hurts. Hard work is like you spit blood. The fun is the win. That's the fun. So the goal has to be worth the sacrifice, and no sacrifice is fun. That's why it's called the sacrifice, But the reward has to be worth the sacrifice, and the reward is what's fun. My coach always used to say, which is brutal, he used to say to me like, and then many years ago, I heard it from like Angelo Dundee. I heard it from like some Cuban coaches that said it to me. Angelo Dundee is Muhammad Ali's coach.
Yeah.
And he said to me, they said like, my coach used to always say this because he was a scholar of fighting. A scholar of fighting is like, it's a student of the game, So he used to say to me, like, if you go home happy after every session that you've done, that means that you haven't trained hard enough. Because you should always train with people that are better than you, so you can reach their level. The struggle is what makes you better, you know, not the comfort. That's how it is.
Jag gillar det. Student of the game. Det där var bra. Folk på gatan påstår att vill man bli proffs på Allstar så får man vara beredd på att få ett helvete. Och det var mycket snack förr i tiden om att man skulle ta på sig en hjälm om man skulle komma till Allstar och träna eller bara liksom sådär. Jag kan ju säga själv, jag kör ju på Allstar. Jag har inte upplevt det. Men var kommer det ryktet ifrån? Alltså?
Because it's brutal. I'm going to be honest with you, it is brutal. Like, you wanna get your win, you have to fight for it. Like, save your brain and all this stuff, absolutely. We don't take any unnecessary risks. But everyone that says that they can get anywhere without sparring hard is pure and utter bullshit.
Okay.
You understand? It's like, because I'm not spar hard, but spar safe.
Safe, okay.
You understand? That's it. No sparring. Like, I heard like the guys that have been winning fights without sparring. Yeah, but like 3 fights before that, he couldn't even, that same guy couldn't even like say his name because you're sparring so hard. And all of a sudden he gets an epiphany like that, oh, we should, now I've done a great performance because I'm not sparring that hard. Like, listen, like, it's not what you're doing now that matters from these fighters. It's what you've done all the way before that. You understand? When you're here, you can fix and tricks things. You understand? Is that? But what have you done all the way up there to get here?
So
you know.
You can fix it.
So like this is so they're teaching young fighters wrong. They're teaching to be soft. They're teaching people like that there's an easier way than what there should be. And I don't believe in that, you know. And I'm not saying that people like going to be brain dead. I'm not saying that. It's like, but it's like there is no easy way. There is no way. You want to get the fighting condition, your running, your bag work, your wrestling and all this has to be put in action in life situations. And I'm not saying drills, and which is a controlled situation. I'm saying an uncontrolled situation like sparring, where anything can happen, you know. There is always an element of injury because of fighting, you know. You shouldn't be fighting for your whole life anyway. You understand? So there's always an element of injury in fighting, you know. And it's like driving a Formula 1 car. Like, if you're going to drive it fast, slow, so you can save the wheels and the brakes, you know, then it's like you're going to lose the race. They have to drive the shit out of it, like, and change brakes, change oil, change like wheels. Like, how many? They have to drive like maybe like 50, 60 rounds the whole track, you know. So that's how it is. That's how it is. Is that you take the risk and the reward as well. Is that it's fighting. It's not like playing cards, poker, and all this. It's that you hit each other. So you have to practice that, you know. Just practice not getting hit. Is that being in that situation where you put power in your shots and you're sparring, you put your condition to the test, and that's where you find out what you're lacking, and you coach that person. Okay, is that I'm not saying you have to like bite the guy's like eyes out and break his neck. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, but an element of like difficulty has to be in this. And this is what people like, I don't want to have it anymore. You know?
Okay, så folk är inte beredda att liksom...
Old school. Old school. Understand? Safe old school. You know?
Och det är din träningsfilosofi. Vi har ju hört hur den är, men... Vad har folk emot din träningsfilosofi? Alltså, jag hör ju din träningsfilosofi. Jag menar, den funkar ju. Tycker jag. Varför följer inte andra den om den funkar?
That's like the $1 million question, my friend. That's the $1 million question. You know, if I was a fighter, and I tell you, everyone in the camera now, if I'm a fighter, wouldn't I want a winning concept? Or yeah, you look at like in America and you read on MMA Junkie and all this, people saying things, but what they say and what they do are two different things.
Okay.
You understand? And another thing, okay? if one person don't spar and it works for him, one person, okay, don't spar and it works for him, doesn't mean that like the method of that unique person will work for everyone else. There is a method that works for the mass, okay, and there is another method that works for the unique individuals, like McGregor's style. It only works for him. Why are you fighting like McGregor when you can't even throw a left and a right? Mayweather, why are you shoulder rolling, doing all this stuff like and this when you can't even throw a left and right? You understand? Go to the fundamentals where you know for sure it will build like the good base.
Okay.
So like with this, you know that the results are there. So why people are not following it, I don't know. Understand? It's like all I know is that I cannot judge what others do. I can only judge what I believe, you know. And I can only say what I do. And what I say is that like if you want to be delusional and believe in fairy tales, you know, then it's another thing. Because I've heard a lot of coaches saying like, famous coaches as well, saying like, we shouldn't get like training pain, träningsvärk. We shouldn't like spar hard. We shouldn't be like getting like a bad taste of training in our minds, you know. I'm like thinking to myself like, are these guys like just saying this because they need money, like to go to get people to their academies, or are they just saying this just to hook like all the fighters because they want the fighters to feel comfortable and to come into a safe zone, you know, in their comfort zone, you know? Are they just trying to like make do something that's like not out of the box that they know don't work because they know it doesn't work.
Och då kommer vi tillbaka till grundgrejen som du sa för en stund sedan om att hårt arbete ska smaka illa. För att om man ska vara bekväm, då är det ju inte alltid att det smakar illa.
Have you seen like the Steve Jobs, all of these great guys, all of these great guys, like they work like 16 to 17 hours a day. You think they like it? So like, you know, this is not something new, I'm saying. This is like something that builds the fundamental walls of success, you know? They say like quality over quantity. Well, let's question that, okay? Let's question that. Because now we're breaking things down. We're talking real now, man. It's like we're breaking things down to the point where we question what all these delusional people are saying. You understand? Quality over quantity. Okay. Well, I've never seen a guy become better at jabbing. I've never seen a guy that's jabbing 1,000 times become better than a guy that's jabbing 1,000,000 times. You know? You know, it's like Bruce Lee, like one said, like it goes like the basic form of martial arts, the basic form. If you strip down all the katas and all the tiger style, like and all this, the basic form of martial arts is the most important. And I've said this for like maybe like 15 years. When people are trying to like flying knees and like spinning kicks and like throwing shoulder rolls and dropping their guard and all this stuff, like. And these guys are beginners. They're beginners. They haven't got like 300 fights with 2 losses like Lemchenko has. He can do that, absolutely. They haven't got like Rigondao like 3 Olympic gold medals. He can do that, not you. You understand? So it disturbs like the order of how you learn. You understand? Like, so once you get like somebody that's like and it shows in the fights as well, because what happens is that when you get in trouble in a fight, you go back to what you know. Yeah. Okay? So when you go back to your instincts, and if the instinct is not to keep your guard up, to go back to the basics, you know, you're in trouble. Okay. You're dead. It's dead. It's done. It's done. You understand? That's why Bernard Hopkins lasted much longer than Roy Jones. I'm not saying that he's a better fighter. What I'm saying is that his career, he lasted longer than Roy Jones. Roy Jones flying triple hooks and like head up, like moving around. Whereas Bernard Hopkins,
Han gick ut från sin trygghet.
like, it's the classic,
Okay.
you know. So he could fight till he was 40, but then Roy Jones couldn't, because like all of a sudden he got a chin check, you know, because it has I'm not saying he's a great boxer, but he doesn't. He does things that are not fundamentally correct. You understand? Textbook. And then I'm not saying, you know, I found that once you get a solid base, you become more fantasyful, you know. You're creative. You become like more creative once you get a good base. So when you build that base, you dare do things. You understand?
Men är inte det bra då?
I think it's good. Absolutely. I think it's good.
På tal om amerikanska... På tal om, vi var inne på Roy Jones, han är ju från USA. Men om vi går tillbaka till MMA och sådär. Är fighters från USA generellt bättre än fighters från Europa?
Yes.
Utveckla.
Because of this.
Okay.
Because of this. Not because of anything else.
Så varför stannar inte de europeiska fighterna i USA?
The fighters are not better. Their training is not better. The training methods are not better. It's just their mind and their attitude.
Mindset.
They are in America. Let me tell you one thing. America was built on sports. Okay, like professional athletes. Well, one section was. There's a lot of other things that America was built on.
Yeah.
But let's say,
Yeah,
well,
let's
that
talk about
section,
that
you
part.
know, like they are fanatical in sports. You know, it's a religion. The athletes are fanatical in their sport. It's not a hobby. What I found, like a lot of times, is that in Europe you have a plan. You have a plan B, you have a plan C, and you have a plan Z. You know, because free education, healthcare, schooling, like social services, whatever. You understand? In America, you have to pay for absolute everything, costs, you know? So if you don't succeed, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble.
Okay, huh?
You know? You have to go and you work in a 7-Eleven. You're in trouble if you don't succeed, unless you have rich parents or whatever, you know? But hard work and dedication as a necessity, you understand? As a necessity to be able to succeed. Is that in only what's in front of you. Because you have no plan B, C, D. You understand? Like, so I found like that in America, because you have more sponsors, there's a greater market. You have like more money in sport, you know? Like the purses are huge. We're not talking about football and stuff like that now. Like soccer, I mean. We're not talking about soccer, you know? We're talking about in fighting, you know? Like the purses are huge. Like the guys like in boxing, they're making like maybe like 100 million. Like only heavyweights in the Europe are making that money, and they have to go to America to make that money. You understand? So having that mentality, you change your perception of things. You know, you change your perception when you only have like one road that you can follow. Like, because if you go to school, then you go to school. But if you do something else, then you have to go there. You understand? It's like having only that road and having that dream that you can earn that money, because it's not a fantasy, it's a reality. You see the people coming from this country doing these things, you know. Then it becomes like a reality. You become another mindset, you know. And this is, I think, what's the difference between us and them, because in reality, the training for me, it's not much better than what we have.
Okay.
And I've been around. It's not much better than what we have. It's not better than what we have. The only thing is, there's bodies. So
Bodies?
Bodies, yeah. Like a lot of heavyweights, a lot of light heavyweights, a lot of middleweights, a lot of like lightweights. So when a person like Alex, for example, goes to America, the most important thing that he gets from there is sparring. Save your brain, yeah. You know, but that's the most important thing that he gets. Is sparring, you understand? It's a sparring. That's what we're after.
Var det som hände också när han åkte till USA och körde
Absolutely.
där?
So I was with him, always.
Ja, såklart.
When he went to America, we were sparring against like Phil Davis, the guy from that's a Philippine, Brandon Vera. We're sparring against like a lot of guys. A lot of guys. I can't even remember the name. A lot of guys. There was like 40 pros in the gym. 40 pros, and they were like all Dominic Cruz, like Brandon Vera, like these guys. Like they're coming from everywhere. Everywhere they're coming. That's the difference with this and with that. Okay. Only. That's it.
Vi ska gå in lite och prata om fighter i din karriär som har liksom påverkat dig mer eller mindre. Men jag tänker, vi stannar lite grann i All-Stars. Varför finns det så mycket motstånd mot All-Stars och dig i synnerhet kan jag känna? Jag har ju följt med under några år nu olika intervjuer och kommentarer som man har läst från Kimuras inlägg. Och det har varit, alltså vad känner du? Eller jag vet inte om du känner av den. Men jag själv liksom som observerar utifrån har ju känt i synnerhet motstånd till dig och ditt sätt. I don't know. Jag vet inte riktigt vad det är. Känner du vad jag menar?
I'm gonna be honest, Victor, say, you know, I never got an honest shake. You know what that means? Honest shake means that like you've never gotten like I've never gotten like the respect that I'm due, you know, and I don't know. It's like because maybe I'm talking like the way I'm talking now. Maybe I just say it like as it is. I just say it like it is. Absolutely. Maybe I'm saying that. Yeah.
Precis, arrogant eller att du.
Maybe. Is that because I tell you as this, and then it's a lot of things that happen at All Stars.
Ja, men precis.
A lot of things have happened at All Stars.
Precis.
You know, like, which maybe is the next question.
Yeah.
So so I think that I've never gotten an honest shake, man. I think that I've always been like the black sheep, you know, the one that's like people are pointing fingers at, and win or lose. Like if we win, it's not because of me. If we lose, it's always because of me. You know, of course. Like that's why I've come to that time in my career as coach now, where I say to myself like, do it the way I say, and blame me. Don't do it the way you say and blame me. With the athletes. If I'm gonna get the blame because the coach always gets the cucumber, you know, like then you say, then let me go down the way I want to, not the way that you want to, you know.
Nu är vi inne på det här med coach, att vara en coach. Det mest ångerfyllda ögonblicket har du haft som coach?
The toughest time.
The toughest moment.
You know, the toughest time I've had is being disappointed by the fighters. Like because I cannot train anyone I don't like. You know, all of us at All Stars like Putta has a couple of guys. We all train in the group in the mornings, and then it's in the evenings. This is how it works at All Stars. Life situations in the morning. Okay, why? Because you want to test yourself when the best people are there. Technique and things you can drill like in the evening with people that are don't have to be the best at what they do. You understand? Or don't have to have the best quality. You know, you can just drill them. Yeah. You know, but in a life situation, you need somebody that's sharp, that can pinpoint your mistakes and punish you for the mistake that you've done, so you don't do it again. Like, so you learn from your mistake. Okay, so for me, is that the most important thing is to have the best guys there and put them in life situations, like situation sparring, grappling sparring, MMA sparring, like technical sparring, wrestling sparring, all sparring. You know, we will do this all in the mornings. In the evenings, we do technique and physical. Some days, you know. So we drill in the evenings, pads, technique in grappling, technique in striking, and that's where all the other coaches come. We all teach together in the mornings, and then in the evenings, that's where the coaches get the guys that suit them. So for me, these guys suit me. Okay. Like, follow my philosophy. And I'm not saying like that everyone has to follow the way that I think. God forbid. I'm not saying that everyone has to follow the philosophy that I think. There's many ways to reach like point A. Like, okay, like this is just what I believe. Thank you. This is just what I believe. You know. So what I'm saying is that I take the guys that I train, and I train them like with the belief that I have. Alan takes his guy. Alan said, and then in the mornings we all train together. You know, like so. This is how it works at All Stars. Okay. This is the schedule that we found the most success. Like we have tried like a few times to change it, but we always revert back to this.
Kommer tillbaka till det.
Back to
och när började du med den första gången?
From day one, I started.
Okay.
And it's like, you know, like, I cannot guarantee that a win. Who can? But I guarantee that you will be in the best shape and in the best possible form, like with everything, to present to your opponent. You understand? And that's the most respect that I can say as a fighter, as a gladiator, as a warrior. To show respect to an opponent, you have to come ready for battle. John Jones, the first one. The first one. That was like a Thriller Manila. That was I remember like people, because what people don't remember is that the John Jones was destroying everyone.